Portland is doing an expensive remodel on its city building, $200 million worth. This building will undoubtedly be in use 100 years from now if climate change has not burnt us off the planet. So thank God the architects are woke. Otherwise, people would have spent the 21st century living under the patriarchal oppression of the urinal. Yes, Portland, in its infinitesimal wisdom, has eliminated the dread urinal. This is the glorified bucket into which a man might relieve himself without making a mess, or taking up much room, or taking any longer than absolutely necessary. When I was growing up, it was common to stand shoulder to shoulder with the guys and pee into a galvanized steel trough. This is no highlight for an 8-year-old at his first Dodgers game. Dad has to hold the kid up and aim him as best he can, trying not to nail any of the other dads. But men are not fussy beasts. I know we're talking about Portland here, but if there are any heterosexual men watching this, you have all had the following experience. You take your lovely date to a movie, and when the Joker is finished and the stunned audience pours into the common area, there is immediately a long line at the ladies' room, but not at the men's. In the olden days of yore, those of us brave enough to sneak a peek into the ladies' room were gobsmacked to see couches, magazines, and all manner of creature comforts. We felt envious until we realized that these arrangements were not luxuries, but an attempt to make women slightly more comfortable while waiting, because women take longer to pee, and there is always something else that needs doing. Historically, there is just one issue with multiple occupant public restrooms. They take too long for women. All of this transgender crap shows how little the needs of normal women are taken into account and how overserved teensy minorities are. There are only a couple of conveniences that men have been granted by dint of organs that live outside the body. One is, of course, the ability to autograph a snowdrift. That's pretty important to us. The other is a quick trip to the restroom. Other than that, it's basically a lifelong shot to the nads. But our speed peeing advantage really irks the woke because equity. Equity is the earwig in the brains of millions of left-wingers. They cannot enjoy any experience if somebody somewhere feels left out. Don't get me wrong, there are lines in men's rooms, but they're like the lines paratroopers stand in before jumping out of a plane. God be with you, fellas, now go, go, go! And then after a shake and a zip, we do go, to stand with the very same guys for 10 more minutes, waiting for our wives and girlfriends. The only solution to this problem that ever occurred to me was that ladies' rooms should be twice the size of men's rooms, with twice the number of toilets. And maybe a small makeup and toiletries concession and TVs playing highlights of season 56 of The Bachelor. I am far too unwoke ever to have concocted a plan that would, in order to level the playing field, make men's bathroom visits slower. Neither would it ever occur to me that the humble workers who keep restrooms clean were not mopping up near enough urine. Yes, men are often guilty of the dribble as well as the overspray. But hey, Portland, what's the permanent underclass for, eh? We are up to example 9782 of how social justice warriors set out to solve a non-problem by creating an actual problem. In Portland, there will be no extra toilets for the gals because equity. But there will be unisex bathrooms with multiple stalls. These are not the single-occupant, all-inclusive restrooms like those at Starbucks. This will be men and women in the same room at the same time with a long row of stalls. Does this work for anybody except pervs? No. Women like to take a few minutes to fix their makeup, to purchase a tampon, to fish through the 400 items of survival gear in their purses. The last thing they want or need is for some dude to be observing or impatiently waiting, or worst of all, trying to hit on them, because that will totally happen, even in Portland. Let's face it, the first thing that happens when you move in with your bride to your new home is that she assigns you a bathroom as far from hers as possible. You're lucky if she doesn't send you to the truck stop up on the highway. I hate to mention odors in an otherwise tasteful video, but I feel that I must. Women, as we know, produce only what smells like a spritz of Chanel No. 5, but dudes, For some reason, we always seem to have just consumed rancid goat meat from a Tijuana street vendor. Jeez, can I get a courtesy flush over here? Yikes. To be clear, there will still be restrooms on certain floors for men only and women only. But get this, even in the men-only restrooms, there will no longer be urinals. This to achieve gender neutrality, or in the words of Tim Reinhart, Portland's chief administrative officer, to remove arbitrary barriers in our community, unquote. Don't bullshit me, Tim. This is to make sure that men wait longer for a toilet because equity. Nice vegetables, though. This is what we're down to, kids. Gender differences are now viewed as arbitrary barriers. Hey, God, how dare you? Rather than speeding up the time it takes for women to make their bladders gladder, the plan is to make men equally miserable. But hey, 0.5% of the population will probably think the new restrooms are swell. See what happens when your city is run by feminist men whose executive spousal partners have not allowed them to pee standing up since their third date. I look forward to their surprise when Portland's women complain that sharing bathrooms with men used to suck, still sucks, and will always, always suck. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.